Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today is Monday, November 25th, 2024. It's broadcast 1182. It is day 416 of the war. It's so good to see all of you. It's really good to see all of you, especially today. Susie and Penny, Rosa and Joyce, Adele, Bensi, good morning. It's good to see all of you, really. I hope that you and yours are safe and well, that you're taking good care of yourselves. We've come together as we have every single morning for 4.5 years to find each other, to say good morning, to find the sweetness in each other's eyes, to write good, kind things, to reach out when the broadcast is done, to see how each other is doing. Iris, it's good to see you. Deborah, it's good to see you. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the Olam Chesed video. Adrian and Sharon, Jonathan and Amy, Fran and Sunday, Tara, good morning. It's good to see all of you. Natalia and Arlene, Valerie, Siona, Linda, Roberta and Deborah, Lydia and Lisa, good morning. Minna, it's good to see you. Debbie and Cecile, Janice and David, Boker Tov. David, it's been a while. Hope that you were well. Anava, really nice to see you. Rachel, hi. Rachel, good morning. Sari and Catherine, Arlene, I'm going to say hi to everybody. Today is a day where we need to say hi to everybody. Hannah and Jill, Judy and Ashley, Patricia, good morning. Stanley, sending you all my love. I'm sorry I missed you before you left for Florida, but I'm sending you a big hug. Corinne, good to see you. Debbie, really nice to see you too. Hi, Anna. Okay. Everybody, let's take a breath, say a blessing. Let's learn some Torah. Here we go. All right, friends. First of all, I can see the love that we are pouring out to each other, the need that we feel for that love. I'm grateful that we are showing up. We have shown up 1,182 times through unfathomable things. And this is only one of the ways that we show up. This is another way that we show up, connecting all of our hearts by being explicit about the care and concern that we have for each other, by sharing the vulnerability that we feel in this moment, by offering the strength we have, which is a lot. Might not always feel like a lot, but the strength that we have to make a difference is just incalculable. So I want to bless us even before we look at the Parsha with a reminder of the strength that we wield. We are very, very strong people. We have been tested, and here we are. And if that isn't a sign of strength, I just don't know what is. So I poured my coffee, but I waited so that I could say the blessing for drinking it with all of you. So this is a bracha, sharing with you the biggest bracha in my life, printed on the mug. But this is the blessing that things should be better for you, for me, for our families, for our people, and for the world. Things should be better. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shakol niyeh bidvaro. I hope you have something to drink. Something, I don't mean it like that. I hope you have something warm to drink, something good to eat, to drink. Now, I want to dedicate today's Torah to the memory of Rabbi Tzvi Kogan, of blessed memory, Zichrono Livracha. I'm sure that many of us have seen his face, his kind eyes. He was a shaliach, a messenger from Chabad, one of the streams of Judaism, to the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, where there has been such an incredible showing of love and support and strength with the birth of the Abraham Accords. Israelis have been going to the UAE and to different communities that were part of the original Abraham Accords. UJA has brought leaders to go be part of that community and to see places of multi-faith celebration, not just tolerance, to see synagogues, to bring Torahs, to learn Torah, to create trade partnerships. It was and remains a bright light in a very complicated world. And for those who don't know, and I'm sharing sad news now, Rabbi Kogan was missing for a few days and was found murdered just yesterday. He provided the kosher food for a lot of people, organized things, and from all accounts, was just a very special human being. And his murder is heavy. I changed, just for a time, my Facebook profile to his face, because yet again, the Jewish community is reminded that any of the differences that we feel within the Jewish community don't matter. They don't even register to the outside world. He and I probably would have had some really intense theological conversations. We would have hugged each other for sure, but our differences are big. And yet, this is a moment for remembering that any of those internal differences are irrelevant, and the world reminds us of it, but we should always have known it. So, friends, if you have a Chabad rabbi or a Chabad couple that is nearby, give them a call. Show them your strength. The kind of hospitality that Chabad shows is the stuff of legends, every corner of the world. And they are a very tight-knit global community within our people. And they're hurting. His uncle and aunt, the Holsteins, a Chabad couple in Mumbai, were murdered many years ago, not so many, but years ago, on Thanksgiving. And one family to have suffered in this way twice is unreal. And we say so as a family who is still in the midst of ongoing pain. This is day 416 after an unfathomable day for the Jewish people and in history. And so I want to encourage us, before I now turn to the Torah for a moment, in memory of Rabbi Tzvi Kogan. I want to encourage us to show up with more Jewish pride and more Jewish strength and real Jewish love. And not everyone who's here is Jewish. I know it's one of the best parts of our community is that we somehow become a community that includes lots of people. And so what I'd like to invite you to do, friends, Jewish and not in our community, is to demonstrate some Jewish pride. If you're not Jewish, that doesn't mean you aren't part of the family. Standing in solidarity also means celebrating, knowing each other's worth, seeing the joy and the solidarity that a Jewish values-based life creates. And so I'm encouraging you. Be louder, prouder, and more visibly Jewish. Hanukkah is coming up soon enough. I want you to get a bigger Chanukiah for your window. And I want you to invite your Jewish and non-Jewish friends in. Just this last weekend, Neshama and I were so blessed to be part of a celebration of a Jewish community in Bethesda, Maryland called the Jewish Studio. It's a lovely group celebrating the community and Rabbi Evan Krame, its founder and its rabbi. And they invited the Scotland AME Zion Church Choir to come be part of the celebration. And I watched Neshama and this choir generate such godliness, not just the exquisite harmonies, beautiful lyrics. There was God in the room. And it was the first moment in many that I found real openness in my own heart. And so, while the news remains incredibly harsh, it really does, the power that we have to make things better, to invite others in, to build friendships, even when in the aftermath of October 7th, 2023, those friendships have been tested in very significant ways. It is important to do it. It is possible to do it. It is urgently necessary to do it. How else can we build this world from love if we don't build it together? And in fact, this week's Parsha makes that question and response even clearer. Even clearer. Because Rebecca and Isaac fell in love at the end of last week's Parsha. And Rebecca is praying, and Isaac is praying. They want to have a child. They pray, and they are able to conceive. Rebecca is pregnant and is in a lot of pain. And she says, she goes out to seek Lidroshet Adonai, to seek out God. A lot of translations in the Torah say that she sought out an oracle. But why say that she doesn't have a direct connection to God? It's chapter 25, verse 22. The Hebrew is Vayitrotetsu habanim bekirba. The children were wrestling, were struggling inside of her. Vatomer, and she said, Im kain, lama ze anochi. If so, why? Why do I exist? Vatelech lidroshet Adonai, and she went out to seek God. And God said they're going to fight when they are born too. That's not a good enough answer, is it? I don't mean to challenge God, but I do mean to say that the pain that we feel sometimes can make us look up at heaven and say, why? Why is it like this? Why does it need to be like this? And the answer, I think that we must remember, and we might not receive it directly from heaven, but when we make a new friend, heaven's answer is right in front of us. It doesn't have to be like that. I am not going to sacrifice any aspect of my Jewishness to be in relationship with another. And the truth is, a good friend would never expect it. A world that is worth my children would never suggest that I or they can't show up fully. So too was that the case in the past. So too is that the case for other parts of our broken world too. Right now, the Jewishness in me is the biggest, loudest, brightest, most demanding part of me. And Judaism, at its core, at its inception, at the very first verses of Genesis, tells us that God's concern is global, universal. We don't start with the Jewish story. We start with the birth of the world. And the birth of the world itself is painful too. It's demanding so much so that God has to rest. And so when we are feeling the pain of being human, perhaps we are also feeling the most godly a person can feel. And how good it is to remember what God notices about that first human being. Lo tov heyot adam levado. It's not good for a person to feel alone. We read this parsha, and Rivka and Yitzchak are desperate to have children, to raise up in this world. As complicated as the story continued to be, what a beautiful, beautiful thing it is to dream big for the future. And for Rivka in pain to say, I don't get it. I thought this was supposed to be about birth. So she goes out to seek God, and God's answer is yes. Yes, it is about birth. And birth is painful. And I say so as a man who doesn't quite know. But I learned from my mother, Rivka. I learned from our matriarch. I learned from God. It's not about the pain, but to think that birth comes without pain, well, that's to live with your eyes closed. Rivka didn't live with her eyes closed. To bring something, as Rosa is saying, someone meaningful in the world. The beauty of this community and of every human being is that they are an entire world, and we are born to do good. Rabbi Tzvi Kogan, Zichrono Livracha, was born to do good too. And so our sadness today is also that all the good that he did and could have done, he won't be able to do. So we must. We must build this world from love, again and again and again. Today we call out again that our family should be home. Today we call out, it is the International Day to End Violence Against Women. It is a day where we call out that our sisters should be believed, and our sisters should be safe, and our sisters should be home. And we redouble our efforts to be a source of love and blessing in the world, to make a new friend, and with that new friendship, to do even more good in the world. When we feel pain, we say, like Rivka did, Im kain lama ze anochi. If so, why then do I exist? Well, that pain reminds us why we exist, doesn't it? Because we feel. And with that deep feeling, we do more good. That is a divine stirring within us when we feel the pain of the world as it is, not as it should be. So let's set out Lidrosh et Adonai. Let's seek out God, by which I mean let's find each other again. It's not good to be alone. Susie is saying something really beautiful that I'm going to amplify. Let us, friends, make sure to do one mitzvah today in honor of Rabbi Kogan. Do one additional mitzvah. Hold the door for someone. Give some tzedakah. Learn some Torah. Make a friend. Heal this planet. Do a mitzvah today. Who knows the impact that could have? So, let's take a moment. Before we even sing Hatikva, I ask you to bless the memory of Rabbi Tzvi Kogan and bless his family with strength and healing. Decide about a mitzvah you can do today. A new one, not one you already planned on, a new one. Let's send our hearts to the east. Kol hod balevav pnima nefesh Yehudi Homiya Ulefate Mizrach Kadima Ayin Letzion Sophia Od lo avda tikvatenu Hatikva bat shnot alpayim Liot am chofshi be'artzenu Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim Liot am chofshi be'artzenu Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow.